Hello and welcome to another edition of Conspirator Brock's Pull List. This is my pull list for the week of July 20th, 2016. So, fair amount of books this week. Lots and lots of good stuff. So let's get into it. First up, we have Aquaman number 3. Abinette has been doing a decent job on Aquaman. I'm enjoying the story so far. So we're 3 issues in, and it's pretty interesting stuff. If you haven't checked out Aquaman, I do recommend trying to track down second prints of the Rebirth if you can't find a first print, and see if you like it. But yeah, always check out with the Rebirth titles. I highly recommend reading the Rebirth and the number 1. Next up, we have Batman number 3. Definitely the must-read, one of the must-read books of the week. Tom King's been doing an amazing job on Batman, and I can't wait to see what issue 3 has in store for us. Supposedly, we're supposed to figure out where Gotham and Gotham Girl come from. Next up, we have Faith number 1 from Valiant. This is, I believe, starting the regular series of Faith. I don't know if it's a mini, but I'm going to assume it's going to keep going. So I'm going to check it out. First mini-series was pretty good. Enjoyed it. Next up, we have Green Arrow number 3. I have no idea what's going on in this cover. It looks like buildings are blowing up and there's money everywhere, but are the buildings made of money? I have no idea. It's very Inceptionist very Inception without being cool. Next up, we have Green Lanterns number 3. This book has been doing good so far. It's really captured kind of the Green Lantern feel. I've been enjoying it. I'm a little concerned with this issue considering all of the creative people that are mentioned here, but we'll see. So hopefully the art doesn't deviate too much, and it's they kind of have a house theme going for that. Next up is a new Rebirth title, and this is the Hellblazer Rebirth number 1. Checking out John Constantine and seeing what's going on with him. The last series, Constantine series before Rebirth, was okay. It was a little jarring. I don't know if in the past Hellblazer stuff, if he's been bisexual, or a sway as I like to call him, but in this book they really hammered, in the last series they really hammered that down and made a very awkward read, but hopefully this Rebirth kind of brings us back to what the glory days of Hellblazer. Next up, we have Justice League number 1. The Rebirth issue was amazing. I can't wait to dive into this issue. Hopefully Brian Hitch can finish a story arc off. Funny. But yeah, we will see. But I'm looking forward to it. Next up, we have Lazarus number 23, a book from Greg Rucka. It's really, really good. It's just a slow book. So I can understand people not wanting to pick it up in single issue. But if you're curious, I would highly recommend reading it in trade. It probably reads a little bit smoother in trade, but it is a slow burn, but it's really, really good and worth the read. Next up, we have Legends of Tomorrow number 5. This thick book that's $8 is just fun and great stuff. The Metamorpho story is really, really great. The Firestorm story is cool. The Sugar and Spike, despite me not knowing much about those characters or anything at all, I've been really enjoying those. And the Metalman story has just been fantastic. So yeah, if you have not yet checked out Legends of Tomorrow, I highly recommend it. Good title. And from what I've seen in the DC solicitations, they're going to release each story as its own trade, which I think is a great idea. Because then you can pick exactly which one you want. So if you pick up Legends of Tomorrow and you don't like say one of them, you don't have to stick with the one you don't like. You can pick the one you want. So I'm looking forward to seeing those trades come out. Next up, we have Lucifer number 8. Been checking out this Lucifer series. It's really good so far. Been enjoying it. Makes me want to read the old stuff. They have recently redone the trades on those, so it's probably something that I'm going to pick up fairly soon. Well, at some point, it's on the list. Next up, we have Manifest Destiny number 21. I love Manifest Destiny. This book is just really great. I'm I'm crossing my fingers that my friends that are heading down to San Diego Comic-Con this weekend can snag me one of those Manifest Destiny pins that they have available. So we shall see. But really, really good stuff. I highly, highly recommend Manifest Destiny. Next up, we have Ray, or Ray, whatever. RAI. Number 15. This is continuing the 4001 AD story stuff, which has been really enjoyable. I've really, really liked this kind of crossover event that they've had with one-shots and a main book and tying in with this. So if you're curious, I would highly recommend going and checking this out. But Valiant's been doing a really, really good job on this event. Next up, we have Scooby Apocalypse number 3, and no, that's not Grifter and Fairchild on the cover, but this is the Jim Lee cover. It's a little rough, but yeah, I've been enjoying Scooby Apocalypse. It's definitely one of the books that when I pick it up and read it, it's like a read. It takes a little while to read, and it's really, really good. So I highly recommend you track down at least a second print of issue 1 to check it out for yourself. But good stuff. Next up is the last issue for the new Suicide Squad. This is issue 22. We will be getting a new Suicide Squad in August. Wonder why? Because there's a movie coming out. Yeah, so I'm curious to see how this one ends. This series has been okay, not great, not horrible, just okay. If you really are curious about Suicide Squad, I would recommend reading the New 52 trades, volume 1 and 1 through 3 of the Suicide Squad stuff from the New 52 is written by Adam Glass, and that stuff is really, really solid. So if you're curious about Suicide Squad and you want to kind of get something, little info or a little kind of exposure to Suicide Squad before you see the film next month, those, at least trade 1, you should pick up and read. It's really good. The other stuff, the Ostrander stuff from the 80s, they're collecting that as well. I've only read the first trade that they released, and then they canceled them, but now they've redone them. So there's the 4th volume came out last week or the week before. So yeah, you can also check out that stuff. It's really good as well. Next up, we have Superman number 3. Peter Tomasi is just knocking it out of the park with with the Convergence, Superman, Lois, and Jonathan. Just really, really great stuff. Being a father, this book hits me in a different way, much like the Batman and Robin from the New 52 did, and it's just really, really good book overall. Yeah. Next up and last up on my pull list is Velvet number 15. This book is really good. But Brubaker and Epting don't have a regular schedule with it, so a lot of times people forget it. But Velvet is really, really good stuff. It's basically the female James Bond kind of deal, and it's just really, really solid stuff. A bunch of variants this week. Let me grab this deck. I did not actually pick up all the variants this week. I'm kind of being very picky and choosy now about the variants that I pick up, but I did get the variant for Aquaman number 3, pretty cool one right there. Batman, of course, had one for number 3, and it's a Tim Sale cover. It's kind of like the negative space, it was a graffiti art kind of look, but cool stuff from Tim Sale. Green Lanterns had one. So I grabbed that one. It was pretty cool. They're sharing the power battery. Of course, the Hellblazer Rebirth had its kind of one figure on the DC logo thing, so I snagged that one. Justice League, Yannicka Paquette did the cover, and it's awesome stuff. Cool stuff. And then again, Superman in number 3. I picked it up because it had Clark and Jonathan on there. Green Arrow did have a variant cover by Neil Adams, which doesn't look like Neil Adams because the inker did an amazing job on it, but I'm not a fan of Neil Adams' art, so I didn't pick that one up. But that is available, so check that one out if you like. Now I got a couple things this week, some of the special orders that came in for me. I got a mouse pad. I know mouse pads, those are archaic. I use a little wireless mouse on my with my laptop, And yeah, I wanted a mouse pad, and the mouse pad I got was the Bombshells Harley Quinn mouse pad. Awesome, awesome stuff. So now I have this nice little pad I can put my mouse on when I'm doing all these videos and surfing the web and all that stuff. And we got a couple of promo posters again this week from DC in our shipment, and I said mine when I saw them. So Ryan was nice enough to give them to me. But I got the Serial Suicide Squad movie poster, little thing there. Awesome, awesome stuff. And then the big ginormous one, which I probably won't be able to show you all of it, is for the Suicide Squad that comes out in August. Oh man, it's so big. And that's the, let's see, get it over here. It's the Jim Lee cover for the Suicide Squad. Comes out in August. At first I didn't think it was Suicide Squad, because when I looked at it, it didn't really seem like it, but yep, so I snagged that one up. Or Ryan said, do you want this one too? And I was like, yep, mine. So yeah, so that's what I snagged. Yep, so let's get on to my read list. These are the titles that I read to stay current, but I don't necessarily get for my collection. First up is Astonishing Ant-Man number 10. Probably Nick Spencer's best book right now. Love reading Ant-Man every month. Really, really good stuff. If you have not yet checked it out, there's a trade for the stuff that happened before they renumbered, which I highly recommend you check out. And also there's one trade for the newer stuff. So both are really, really phenomenal, and you should grab those up. The next title is a Rebirth title. I know, a Rebirth title that I did not purchase because I'm not a huge fan of hipster Batgirl. And I never got into the Birds of Prey. I tried the Birds of Prey with New 52, but it just didn't click with me. The only issues I read was like issue 1, and then I actually purchased the issues that had the Suicide Squad in them. Yeah, I know. But that's Batgirl and the Birds of Prey Rebirth number 1. So we kind of get to see what's going on with them. I know that Batgirl doesn't have the hipster costume in her own book, which is coming out soon. So we'll see what goes on with that. But I'm going to check it out. And if I like it, I'll say, hey, Ryan, charge me for this one. I liked it. But that one did also have a variant cover that had the 3. It had Batgirl, Black Canary, and Huntress on the little DC logo. Personally, I didn't really like the art on that one, but again, check that out at your local shop. You might actually like it. Next up is a new number 1 from Archie Comics, and it's Betty and Veronica number 1 with art by Adam Hughes. Yep, I figured check it out. I checked out the Archie book, liked it, so I'm gonna go with Betty and Veronica. We did get a blank cover for that one, and there's a bunch of variants from what I hear for that. So get down to your local shop, because who knows how many they got. Next up is a Jeff Lemire book that I'm going to check out first. It's from Dark Horse. It's called Black Hammer number 1. Curious to see what this one's about. I like Jeff Lemire stuff, but we'll see if that catches my interest. And then next up we have Black Widow number 5. I've been enjoying the Black Widow stuff so far with this new series, so hopefully it keeps my interest. But you know, for the most part, good stuff. Next up is a new number 1 from Image. I have know nothing about, so if you see it, if issue 2 comes out and it's on my read list again or on my pull list, yeah, I'll let you know what I think of it. But that's The Hunt number 1. No idea. So I'm curious to see where The Hunt takes me. Image has been kind of the past year or so. You know, their only really big titles are Walking Dead, Saga, and Paper Girls. I think a lot of the other titles like Manifest Destiny and Birthright kind of fall by the wayside. But one of the things I think that hurts Image the most is the lack of having a consistent schedule. Saga's on pretty much, we do a story arc and then we take a 2-month break. And then after the 2-month break, you get the first issue of the next story arc and the trade of the old stuff at the same time. So that's a really good schedule to stick to. They've been very vocal about it, so people know. Yeah, but all the rest of them, not so much. Next up is another new Image number 1, and that's Snot Girl number 1. Yeah, by Brian Lee O'Malley. I don't know how I'm going to like this book. I tried the preview in the Image Plus, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I have really no idea. Next up, Justin Jordan has a new number 1 from Boom, and this is 1 of 4. Sombra, number 1 of 4. I like Justin Jordan, so I'm going to give this one, or I'm going to check this one out, but we shall see if I like it. Next up is a book that, is pretty much a read this week, and that is Star Wars number 21. Star Wars title has just been really, really good, solid book. I know numbers have fallen down or fallen off a little bit, but that's the natural curve of comics. Number 1, you have up here, and then it drops with issue 2, 3, 4, and so on. But Star Wars is really, really good. I really enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to issue 21. Next up is another Star Wars book, and that's Darth Vader number 23. We are getting closer to the last issue, which is issue 25, which is sad because this book has been just spot on a really great read. Sad to see Gillen's run end, but we will most likely get a new number 1 for Vader close to this movie called Rogue One. So, yeah, that sells a bunch of variants. Next up is Thunderbolts number 3. We talked about this on last week's episode of the Comic Conspiracy, and it's a 90s book through and through. So if you like 90s comics, I highly recommend checking this out. I'm giving issue 3 a read, even though 1 and 2 were but yeah, for the most part, Thunderbolts, if you're a 90s person, I think you'll like it. And then last on my read list is Uncanny X-Men number 10. This still ties in with the Apocalypse Wars stuff, which has been okay so far. So I'm going to keep reading that one. But that's it. That's it for the read list. A couple titles that I was not able to pick up this week were Black Road number 4, Department H number 4, and Nighthawk number 3. Yes, I know I said Nighthawk number 3. I'm giving number 3 a shot. Even though 1 and 2 are so we shall see. I did want to mention that the Green Arrow by Kevin Smith trade paperback is out this week at comic book stores for $24.99. It collects all of the Kevin Smith written Green Arrow stuff. So if you were curious about Green Arrow, I would recommend you try and snag that up, because I haven't read the stuff, but it's on the list of stuff to read. There's always a list. There's too much stuff to read. So that's it. Thanks again for watching. Please remember, like, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments down in the little comment section below. I like seeing your lists. Appreciate all you guys that post up stuff there. Thank you for the support from my very vague thing last week about family stuff that I'm going through. It means a lot, guys. Thank you. We just finished recording episode 270 of the Comic Conspiracy. You can go to www.geekbox.net to check that out, or there's a link in the description below. And we talk about we talk about San Diego Comic-Con. This is coming up this weekend, and a couple things about some rumors with TV stuff. But the big thing we went over on the episode was the Marvel Now previews. We went through this and talked about all the number 1s. I know I told you guys I was going to do a video on this, so hopefully I'll be able to get that done at some point, because yeah, there's a lot to say about what's in that book. Yep. You can follow me on Twitter. My handle is @BrockSager. You can help me and my fellow conspirators at Patreon on www.patreon.com/comicconspiracy. And for as little as $1 a month, you help us with hosting and getting food and all that wonderful stuff. And we do thank all of our Patreon listeners for your support. You help us. You keep us going, and every little bit helps. So yeah, that's it. I got about a 19-minute video to upload. If you survived all this way, thank you, and I will see you next week.